Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam Stutis series. We'll continue with Kunti Maharani's prayer, with shloka number 22 of chapter 8, canto 1. Namah Pankajanaabhaya
Namah Pankajanaabhaya
Namah Pankajamaline
Namah Pankajamaline
Namah Pankajanetraya
Namah Pankajanetraya
Namaste Pankajanghraye.
Namaste Pankajanghraye.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Namaha.
Namaha.
All respectful obeisances.
All respectful obeisances.
Pankaja Nabhaya.
Pankajanaabhaya.
Unto the Lord who has a specific depression resembling a lotus flower in the center of his abdomen.
Unto the Lord, who has a specific depression resembling a lotus flower in the center of his abdomen.
Namaha.
Namaha.
Obeisances.
Obeisances.
Pankaja Maline.
Pankajamalini.
One who is always decorated with a garland of lotus flowers.
One who is always decorated with a garland of lotus flowers.
Namaha.
Namaha.
Obeisances.
Obeisances.
Pankajanetraya.
Pankajanetraya.
One whose glance is as cooling as a lotus flower.
One whose glance is as cooling as a lotus flower.
Namahate.
Namahate.
Respectful obeisances unto you.
Respectful obeisances unto you.
Pankaja Anghraye.
Pankaja Anghraye.
Unto you, the soles of whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers.
Unto you, the soles of whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers.
And who are therefore said to possess lotus feet.
And who are therefore said to possess lotus feet.
Translation. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord.
My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord,
whose abdomen is marked
whose abdomen is marked
with a depression like a lotus flower.
With a depression like a lotus flower.
Who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers.
Who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers.
Whose glance is as cool as the lotus.
Whose glance is as cool as the lotus.
And whose feet are engraved with lotuses.
And whose feet are engraved with lotuses.
Okay. Prabhupada writes in the purport, here are some of the specific symbolic marks on the spiritual body of the personality of Godhead, which distinguish his body from the bodies of all others. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. So there will always be marks indicating that this is a divine personality. Even pure devotees may have some specific markings on their body. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, but he is always distinct by his specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being woman. This is claimed because women, Shudras, the laborer class, and the Dvija Bandhus, or the wretched descendants of the higher three classes, are unfit by intelligence to understand transcendental subject matter concerning the spiritual name, fame, attributes, forms, etc. of the Supreme Absolute Truth. So Prabhupada is giving the meaning of the word Dvija Bandhus. Dvija Bandhus means you are friends of the Dvija. Even if you may have been born in the family of a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, or a Vaishya. Even if you've taken initiation, but you're not following the rules and regulations, or you're not conducting yourself as per what you have been instructed, then you are simply called a friend of a Brahman. You are not really considered a friend, even though you may have been born in a family of Brahmanas or Kshatriya or Vaishya. they are still considered a Dvijabandhu. Such persons, although they are unfit to enter into the spiritual affairs of the Lord, can see him as the Archa Vigraha, who descends to the material world just to distribute favors to the fallen souls, including the above-mentioned women, Shudras, and Dvijabandhus. So the Lord is so kind, even if such people like women, Shudras, and Dvijabandhus cannot see the Lord, they can at least worship him in his Archa Vigraha form. Because such fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter, the Lord condescends to enter into each and every one of the innumerable universes. As the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, who grows a lotus stem from the lotus-like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen, and thus Brahma, the first living being in the universe, is born. So even though we consider that the material universe is a contaminated place, it is contaminated because of the absence of Krishna, still Krishna consents to enter into each of the universes as Garbhodakashaya. So even though Krishna is entering a contaminated place, he is always pure. He is always Satchidananda. Therefore, the Lord is known as Pankajanabhi. The Pankajanabhi Lord accepts the Archa Vigraha, his transcendental form, in different elements, namely a form within the mind, a form made of wood, a form made of earth, a form made of metal, a form made of jewel, a form made of paint, a form drawn on sand, etc. All such forms of the Lord are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, and there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees, always engaged in material wranglings. The meditators worship a form within the mind. Therefore, the Lord is merciful even to the women, Shudras, and Dvijabandhus, provided they agree to visit the temple of worship in different forms made for them. So essentially, Prabhupada is saying that the Lord is always accessible to anyone who so desires. Such temple visitors are not idolaters, meaning they are not worshipping mere idols. As alleged by some men with a poor fund of knowledge, all the great acharyas established such temples of worship in all places just to favor the less intelligent, and one should not pose himself as transcending the stage of temple worship while one is actually in the category of the Shudras and the women or less. So this means temples are meant for the less intelligent, where in the form of the Archa Vigraha, it allows you to worship the Lord. And of course, it's a purificatory process. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. So lotus feet is where we should meditate on. We are not qualified to meditate on the lotus face of the Lord. Srimati Kunti, because of her being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see the Lord from the lotus feet, because the Lord might feel ashamed. And thus Kunti Devi, just to save a painful situation for the Lord, began to see the Lord just above his lotus feet. So Prabhupada is beautifully bringing out this point. The shloka doesn't begin with the lotus feet of the Lord. So as not to embarrass the Lord, because after all, the Lord was her nephew, and she did not want to embarrass him publicly. So therefore she begins from the waist of the Lord, gradually rising to the face, and then down to the lotus feet. In the round, everything there is in order. So I was reading Prabhupada's lecture on this particular shloka in prabhupadvani.org. This particular lecture was given in Los Angeles in 1973 on April 14th. I just want to read a few things that Prabhupada says in this particular lecture. So Prabhupada says, all parts of the Lord's body are referenced as Pankaja. Pankaja means lotus flower, and Pankaja can be split as Panka and Ja. Panka means mud, and Ja means generate. So Pankaja, the lotus flower, is so important. But where is the lotus flower growing from? It is growing in a dirty place, the mud. It is generated from mud. But Prabhupada explains that Krishna likes Pankaja very much. He loves the lotus flower. So if we see the lotus flower, we can remember. Immediately we can remember, Krishna likes the lotus flower. And Prabhupada explains, just for a mother or a father, the child has gone to school, but their toys are all strewn around here and there. And when you see the toy, immediately you think of the child. If you see the child's shoes, you immediately think of the child. So immediately it happens. Oh, this is my child's shoes. These are my child's playthings. This is my garment. So in this way, everything you see around you, you know it belongs to Krishna. So it is a question of love. If you actually love God, then you can remember Him at any time, always, always, Prabhupada says. There is no difficulty in remembering Krishna. So Prabhupada, astonishingly in this particular lecture, talks about what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya, in the 7th chapter. I am the taste of liquid. And Prabhupada says in your United States, you have so many people who enjoy drinking on a daily basis. They go to the bar. Friday they will drink. Saturday they will drink. Sunday they will drink. So many people are habituated in the Western world to drinking alcohol every day when they go home. It's just part of what they do. Prabhupada says, even when they are drinking alcohol, if they can say, this taste is coming from Krishna, Prabhupada says they will become a great saintly person if they start thinking like this. So Prabhupada is very sweetly explaining that Krishna consciousness is so sublime that even thinking like this alcohol is also in the form of a liquid, it is water. So even when you're drinking alcohol, you can think this taste is coming from Krishna. And one day, thinking like this, you'll become a great saintly person. So Prabhupada is saying, I can now request even the drunkards, you can also become Krishna conscious. So if the drunkards can become Krishna conscious, what to speak of others? So liquor is also a liquid. Of course, liquor is bad because it creates intoxication. And Prabhupada explains the chemical process because he's a chemist. He says that this molasses comes from sugar. And molasses and sulfuric acid, when they are fermented, it becomes liquor. And of course, it is distilled, then it is called spirit. So Prabhupada says nothing is bad, but the effect of certain things are bad. Molasses is not bad. But if it is converted into something else, then the effect of having that becomes bad. So this nice taste of wine is also Krishna. So you can begin your journey as a drunkard there. And Prabhupada says, one day you'll become a saintly person. You'll become Krishna conscious. So this Krishna consciousness movement is so practical. Krishna is available to anyone who is interested in catching him. That's all. So if you're seriously searching for Krishna, Prabhupada says Krishna is everywhere. He's everywhere. He's within the universe. He's within your heart. He's within everybody's heart. He's within the atom. You can see him everywhere. It's not difficult to find Krishna. But Prabhupada says, although it is not difficult to find Krishna, you must know the process how to find him. And this process is simple. And Prabhupada explains further down. This is something I will read because this is something we are doing every day. So Prabhupada says, so read the Bhagavatam, pronounce the verses very nicely. Therefore, we are repeating. You hear the records and try to repeat. Simply by chanting the mantra, you'll be purified. Simply by chanting. Even you do not understand a single word of it. Simply if you chant, this vibration has got such power. Shravanam. Shrinvatham Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. This is from the second chapter of Canto 1, Shloka 17. If you simply chant and vibrate this verse, these verses, these shlokas, it is Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. There is no question of understanding. Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Punya means pious, and Shravana means hearing, and Kirtana means chanting. One who is chanting this verse and one who is hearing this verse, he is becoming pious automatically. Pious. To become pious, one has to endeavor so much. Do this, do that, yam, niyam. Prabhupada is saying to become pious, you have to, there's so much expectations of you, what you should do, what you should not do. But if you simply hear these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, then you will become pious. So then Prabhupada says, that is why in every temple we have set up classes, once in the morning, once in the evening. Morning is Bhagavatam, evening is Bhagavad Gita. It is all for the benefit of those who visit the temple so they can hear and chant. So of course, we are also doing the same thing. Morning one class, evening one class, so that you can spend some time hearing and chanting. Without hearing and chanting to become a leader, it is impossible, Prabhupada says. You can become a leader in the material world, but not in the spiritual world. To become a leader in the spiritual world, you must be hearing and chanting. This is how the bhakti seed fructifies in you. This bhakti seed has that potency. Just like Prabhupada explains, on the banyan tree, there are these fig fruits. And if you cut open the fruit, you will see seeds tinier than the mustard seed. But each tiny seed has the potency of the banyan tree. So that kind of potency, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra has, and all of these shlokas, the prayers that we are reciting every day, the Bhagavad Gita shloka a day, the Stuti series shloka a day, all of this is purifying. One day, we too will become a saint. So here, Kunti Maharani is glorifying the Lord by comparing practically all parts of his body to the beautiful lotus flower.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.